man grabs a bag on a moving train. He looks ordinary, but he's surrounded by undercover cops. A spy calls the operation leader the boss, warning him that the plan has failed. On the train, the thief takes a hostage at knife point, forces everyone back, and escapes at the next station. But a police officer follows him. The thief releases the hostage, who runs to the cop for safety, only for the cop to stab him. The civilian was part of the gang too. The thieves regroup with the boss and drive to their hideout. Inside their van, a large box containing a kidnapped child. Their ransom plan failed, but they keep the boy. Chained to the floor is also Jiyeon, a woman forced to stay there against her will. 14 years pass. The same 5 criminals are still active: murder, robbery, the usual routine. The police know them only as the day breakers. They always wear masks, so their identities remain a mystery. During a home invasion, they encounter a blind masseur. To confirm his blindness, boss holds a sharp object inches from his eye. He doesn't flinch. They let him live and leave. The boy they kidnapped years ago is now around 18 years old. His name is Hwayi. He lives with the 5 thieves, calling them all father and Jiyeon mother. He has no idea he was stolen from his real family. Hwayi has one problem: he constantly sees a terrifying monster in front of him. It's haunted him since childhood, and no amount of advice from boss has made it go away. The blind masseur is called in for questioning. He insists he saw nothing. But Officer Danny, the cop stabbed and left for dead 14 years ago, suspects the truth. He tests the man in a dark room and catches him blinking at a flickering light. The man isn't blind. Danny threatens to expose him, so the man confesses everything. The police chief, who is secretly a mole for the day breakers, overhears and warns the gang through Spike. Boss assigns Hwayi to kill the witness with a sniper rifle. But when Hwayi aims, the monster appears in his scope. He panics, drops the gun, and the witness escapes in a car driven by Park. They recapture him, take him to the hideout, and beat him to death. Boss confronts Hwayi, who admits his fear. Boss hugs him, promising to help him overcome it. The gang takes a new contract: kill an elderly couple who refuse to sell their land to a wealthy businessman. The uncle and auntie are their targets. Hwayi is sent to pick the lock and open the door. Inside, he finds a diary and a photo of a young boy. He pockets it without thinking. The auntie hides in a wardrobe. The uncle arrives and is brutally beaten. Boss forces Hwayi to shoot him, and he does multiple times. The uncle dies. Boss is proud. "You're a tiger cub, my son." The auntie escapes and ends up in the hospital barely alive. Danny investigates the murder scene and finds an umbrella with a plant shop logo. He traces it to the gang's front business and gets closer to the truth. Back at the hideout, Jiyeon sees the photo Hwayi found. She casually says, "That's you as a kid." Hwayi is confused. The photo was from the uncle and auntie's house. He returns there and discovers newspaper ads showing the couple had searched for their missing son for years. The missing child looks exactly like him. Hwayi realizes the horrifying truth. The uncle and auntie are his real parents, and he just killed his own father. His mother returns home from the hospital and tries to commit suicide. Hwayi saves her, screaming in anguish. These 5 people destroyed his life. Revenge becomes his only purpose. Hwayi first confronts Spike with a gun. "You all knew, didn't you?" Spike doesn't resist. He accepts his death. Hwayi shoots him. Boss realizes the boy now knows everything and warns the remaining 3 to be alert. But Hwayi isn't just hunting, he's protecting too. He asks Emma, his school crush, to move his mother to another hospital under a fake name. His mother is safe. Hwayi goes after Park next. They fight, but Park overpowers him. Hwayi grabs a sniper rifle, leaps out a window, and escapes in a car. Using the driving skills Ryder taught him, he loses the rest of the gang. Danny digs through old police files and finds a video cassette of the original kidnapping. He now knows Hwayi is the stolen child. Hwayi calls Boss. "Meet me at the cement factory where you took me. Let's end this." Boss, Ryder, Park, and Lee arrive at the factory. The businessman's hired killer is also there, expecting to collect the ante. Hwayi snipes one of the killer's men, sparking a massive bloody gunfight between both sides. Ryder dies. Park dies. Boss kills the last killer. Lee spots Hwayi above and climbs up to stop him. Hwayi screams at him, "You knew everything, you ruined my life." Lee is devastated. He truly loved Hwayi like a son. They struggle and Lee slips. Hwayi tries to save him, but Lee realizes they'll both fall if Hwayi holds on. He lets go, giving his life to save the boy he raised. Meanwhile, the police chief reveals the auntie's hospital location to Boss over the phone. Boss now knows Hwayi's weakness. He goes to the hospital, kills the chief for betraying him, and enters the auntie's room. The auntie wakes up. Boss coldly confesses everything. He kidnapped Hwayi to take revenge on her and her husband. He reveals his own childhood, an orphan raised by the auntie's husband, who was the orphanage warden. He had a crush on a girl, but she preferred the warden. In a rage, he raped her, and when the warden tried to intervene, Boss cut off his leg. He went to jail. Later, he kidnapped that same girl, Jiyeon, and kept her chained all these years. He also reveals his twisted philosophy. He used to see monsters in the dark until he embraced violence and became one himself. That's why he made Hwayi kill his own father to transform him into a monster too. And it worked. Hwayi hasn't seen the creature since. Then without mercy, Boss shoots and kills the auntie. Hwayi arrives moments later. He finds his mother dead. He's broken, but now he's truly a monster filled with pure rage. At the hideout, Jiyeon is cleaning Danny's blood. She knocked him out after he kept calling Hwayi a killer. Boss arrives. Hwayi follows, gun drawn. He asks why. Boss repeats his philosophy one final time. Danny wakes up, sees Hwayi, and aims his gun. But Boss shoots him first, screaming, "Don't touch my son." He then grabs Jiyeon and forces Hwayi to surrender. Hwayi puts down his weapon. Boss embraces him, calling him his tiger cub, his true son. But Hwayi pulls out a hidden gun and shoots Boss in the stomach. Boss falls, still holding his own gun. He could have shot Hwayi. Instead, he just smiles because he genuinely loved him like a son, even in the end. He dies. A few days later, Hwayi sends Emma a beautiful hand-drawn picture. She knows it's from him. She smiles. But one person still needs to pay: the businessman who ordered the hit on Hwayi's parents. At his grand property inauguration, a single bullet hits him in the forehead. He falls dead on stage. Hwayi calmly packs his sniper rifle into a violin case and walks through the crowd, disappearing into the night.